In the last lesson, we learnt how to drag and drop action blocks to create very simple programs. These programs, however, only carried out a single task, so they weren't terribly useful. In this lesson, we're going to learn how to combine a number of action blocks to create sequences of actions that run one after the other. Let's start by looking at a real-life example of a telephone. When my phone rings, a number of actions take place. The first is that my phone is told to play a ringing noise. The second is that it is told to display information on the screen. Finally, it is also told to vibrate. All of these actions happen after a single event, a telephone call being received. Let's have a look at the two ways this could be programmed on a computer. The first is to sequence our action blocks one after the other. The second is to run each action block from its own trigger. There is an important difference between the two, which we need to understand. Let's look more closely at the idea of sequencing action blocks. With this method, one action will run, then the next, then the next. They run in sequence, one after the other. The second approach is to use more than one event trigger. When the event takes place, all the blocks of code run at the same time, alongside each other. There are times when it won't matter which approach we use, but there are also times when one method will be more suitable than the other. Let's have a look at how we can combine actions in our own programs. Let's start by dragging a simple move action and adding it to a program start trigger. We will now drag and drop a second action, change costume, and click it into place below the move action. As you can see, when we run our program now, two actions take place. Our sprite moves and then changes costume. Of course, it looks like they're both happening at the same time because the actions run so quickly. Let's now add another action, this time to turn the sprite. We will give this action its own event trigger. Let's start by dragging a new when flag is clicked trigger and adding it to our programming area. We will now drag and drop the turn action, clicking it into place. As you can see, when we run our program now, a number of things happen. Both blocks of code run at the same time. In the first one, two actions take place, a move action and a next costume action. In our other programming block, the sprite is told to turn. So as you can see, we can easily combine a number of actions to create more complicated programs.